She'll let us know here.
All right, so we look at the first. Tell me what we know.
Single displacement.
How do we know it's single displacement?
I don't know. I heard it
All right, so for Annabelle, who's like, I don't know. Other people said it. Since we have a test coming up, because we're edging in, closing on the end of the unit. How is Annabelle going to know on the test that it's single displacement? Because y'all are not all going to yell to Annabelle on the test it's single displacement. All right, how do you know that's a compound? Because she's still looking at yesterday's opening going, how do you know? There's two what? There's two elements. All right. In this case, it's two capital letters. Okay. But on the one from yesterday's opening, it said nickel 3 oxide. So how does she know nickel 3 oxide is a compound? It ends at IDE is one. It also had two different elements.
How is O, like O is wood, and so is nickel, but you put the 3 with the N, but you didn't for the first one.
Because it just says nickel 3. It doesn't have anything else with the nickel 3. So that's what tells you nickel 3 is just an element. Okay? Now, this is an element because it has how many capitals?
One.
Just one. That's what tells you that's a compound. That's an element. So if it's a compound plus an element, that's what tells you it's single displacement. Okay? Now, are we good with that's how we knew it was single displacement? Yes or no?
Yeah.
All right. So, good with the type.
Yes.
All right. So, what do we do for single displacement? Because this is review from yesterday. This is not new. Find the what? Oxidation numbers. So, what's chromium's oxidation number here?
6.
It's a 6. See this 6 that's right here? It came from up here. Because when you look up chromium on your oxidation sheet, it's going to say +2, +3, +6. So you know the 6 came from chromium. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
All right. Fluorine is what?
-1.
-1. Now, iodine is what we worked on yesterday. When you look up 5 clear brown iguanas, it says -1, +1, +3, +5, and +7. Okay? Every single one of them is what, Madison?
They're all -1.
They're all -1. Okay? Every time you look up their oxidation number, the only one we're going to use all year long is the -1. I promise. All right? We've been working with Madison all day long yesterday on this. Going to use it again today. It's always going to be a -1 when you look up that oxidation number. The 5 clear brown iguanas. So, iodine is -1. So, which two elements are exchanging or switching places? F and I. So, what do we wind up with over on this side for our products if F and I switch places? CRI and F. Now, for the numbers, we don't carry any numbers across the arrow because I have no polyatomic ions. So if this is a compound, where do the numbers come from? What do I have to do? I have to crisscross. So I put in my oxidation numbers. The reason I have to tell you things like nickel 3 is the oxidation number on this side is the same oxidation number on this side. So if I want you to know it's nickel 3, I have to tell you on this side it's nickel 3. Okay? That's why I tell you those things. So chromium is a 6. Iodine was a -1. Fluorine is by itself. Do I need to know its oxidation number? No. It's an element. I ask myself if it's one of the what? Is it one of the 7 diatomics? Yes. So it gets a what?
2.
Gets a 2. Crisscross on my compound, I get a 6 there. I'm getting rid of those. Get rid of that. Get rid of those. And is it balanced? No. So to balance, I have, what do you want to balance first? 6 I's. So there's 6. There's 2. Put a 3. There's 2. There's 6. Put a 3. My chromiums are good.
Balancing equations is so much fun.
Yay!
It's so easy. No.
All right. So in my second one, what kind is my second one?
Hold on.
Put the wrong name. I know the answer is CO2.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Yeah.
All right. This is the only thing we did do yesterday. We started it at 11:30. Okay?
Oh, just CO2.
When you look at it, some people look at it and go, it's single displacement. And when you look at the C and the H and you get lost in the oxidation numbers, what did I tell you to say to yourself when you get lost in the oxidation numbers? It's wrong. That it is not a single displacement reaction. It's a hydrocarbon plus oxygen. And what kind of reaction did we learn that's a hydrocarbon plus oxygen? Combustion. So if it's combustion, you don't have to switch anybody. You don't have to figure out who displaced who. You know the two products are what in combustion. So all you do is write CO2 plus H2O, and you are ready to do what? To balance. That's it. That's why we started it at 11:30. It's that easy. You don't have to figure anything out. You have to recognize that that's a hydrocarbon plus oxygen, and those are the two products. Okay? There's no switching anybody. There's no figuring out an oxidation number. Okay? So, how many C's do we have? So, 6 C's. How many H's? So, to get 14, I put a 7. How many O's did I make? Plus, how many O's did I have? 12 plus 7 is 19. Oops, can't get an odd number. So what I tell y'all to do when? Add a 2. So let me get rid of that. And we're going to put a 2 right there. So 2 times 6 is how many? 12. So how do I get 12 C's? Put a 12 right there. How many H's do I have? 28. All right. Now, you don't even really have to figure that out. 2 times 14. What do I have right here? Well, I just need a 14 right there because 2 times 14. Now, 12 times 2 is? 14 times 1 is? Now, this is why I tell you if you need a calculator, have a calculator handy.
38.
Very good. So, how do I get 38 here? 19.
Oh, okay.
Everybody good so far?
No. Keep going. Keep going.
All right, number 3. Antimony 5 oxide. SB has what oxidation number? Oxide has a 2 comes down, 5 comes down. Plus silver phosphate. Silver is a 1. Phosphate is a 3. Parentheses, bring my 3 down.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Who is switching with who? Now, I made an assumption there that everybody knew what the equation was. I probably shouldn't have done that. What kind is this? How do we know it was double displacement? It's 2 compounds. All right. Just making sure everybody's with me. So, AG and SB is the answer y'all gave. So, SB will be with who? The PO4. Now, the 4 gets to come across the arrow because it's part of the what? The polyatomic ion. Now, this 2, this 5, and this 3 do not get to go across because they're not part of a polyatomic ion. All right, so the AG is with the O. But none of those other numbers get to come across. So, given those are compounds, I'm going to do what? Lost your coat? Getting cold? Nope, lost his coffee. I knew you'd be back for it eventually. You want your coat while you're here? You want your coat in case you get cold?
No.
Oh, you're okay. You good right now?
I need to send the absentee.
Okay. So SB has a.
Why that thing? Right.
All right. So plus 5 minus 3 plus 1 and minus 2. 3, 5, 2, and a 1.
Well, what did Colonel do to you?
I didn't do anything.
Did he break your heart? Is that why you made
Shut up, Annabelle. All right. 3 questions. Don't you need to go take another test today?
Yes. I need to go take my Jessup test.
All right. Questions about how to do that?
Well,
All right. What do we want to balance first?
Oh my God, it's not done. Big one.
What big one?
I don't know.
Biggest
PO4.
PO4. All right. So how many PO4s? So 5. How many AGs do we make? Can I get 15?
No.
Okay. So let me get rid of that. Let's pick something different.
SB.
SB. Okay. So we have.
2.
Are we doing? Let me ask this. Are we doing the O's or the SBs?
SB.
SB. So we have 2 and we have 3. So we're gonna put what here?
3.
And how many here?
2.
Okay. So that made how many O's?
15.
Can I get 15 O's?
Yeah.
Okay. So 15. How many silvers did I make?
30.
Can I get 30? Okay. So that made how many PO4s? How many PO4s? So we're good.
Booyah!
All right. So that's one where the big one didn't work for us. We needed to start with something different. All right. Questions on the opening?
No.
Okay. So I didn't write down the types y'all told me. That was combustion. And that was double displacement. Are you okay with everything?
I just need help with yesterday's.
I exempted that. If you have it and want to put it on my desk for a grade, then do that. So Caleb, you took yours away before I could put it in my grade book. So if you want that, put it back so I can put it in my grade book. It's like I told Cecilia, if you have hundreds on all of your homework, it is not going to benefit you to give it to me. And I mean no disrespect when I say this to Caleb, but Caleb doesn't have all hundreds on his. So if you know you're in that category and you want the 100 because he did his homework and he knows he has it and he wants the 100, then it would benefit you to turn it in. So if you're like him and you want it, then put it on my desk and I will change your exempt to 100. But if you have all hundreds, you have nothing to gain by doing it or turning it in. I mean, so it's up to you. But if you have missing homework or a 0 for homework and you have the homework, yes, it would benefit you.
I didn't even know we had homework. Anybody got any Carmax? No, I need some.
Yes, because everybody should share Carmex in the middle of flu
Hey,
season.
listen. It's called putting on your finger.
All right, so the homework last night was essentially what the opening was. Take your equations, take the types, and predict the products. This is the biggest section of the test next week. Okay, it accounts for the largest portion of your points. You only have 3 types in last night's homework. We're going to add 2 more types today. So, this was single displacement. So you would have wound up with SB with O, 2, and 5 plus chlorine. So to balance this, you would have had what? A 5 and a 2. So we would need a 5 and 2. That would make 4. So 4. That would make 20. So we would need what? 10. All right. For this one, this is combustion. So we would need CO2 plus H2O. We would have 5, 6, 16, 8. This one would be double displacement. So we would have NiCl, nickel's a 2, plus aluminum bromide. Aluminum's a 3. So to balance this one, we have what? 3 bromides and 2. So we'll have a 3 there and a 2 there. We made 2 aluminums and we'll have 3 there. All right. For this one, this will be double displacement also. We'll have manganese with chlorate. Excuse me, that's chlorite. That has a 7. And we have calcium with carbonate. And those are going to cancel out because they're both 2s. To balance that one, let's say we have 7 carbonates, so we need a 7 on calcium. Will it be too many or will it work?
Great question.
7 calciums. So we need 7 calciums, 14 of those, 2 manganeses, 2 manganeses. All right, and the last one, we have combustion, CO2 plus water. We're going to need a 2 on the front of this one to get it to balance. That'll be 12, 12, 14, 24, 14, 38, 19.
That annoys me how quick you did that.
Right.
That's what I do over here.
What are your answers?
3 times 7 plus 24. 6. Yeah. Right. You know, when you be trying to add up and you be like 8 plus 9. But when 9 is about 10, I take 18 and subtract that 1.
That's exactly
That's
what I
the
do.
only thing is you check the calculator because you're not sure if 1 plus 1 equals 2 or not.
So SB always use 5,
2 plus 3 is 5.
It can be a 3. Sometimes I use a 3. It just depends.
Because I'm trying to use 3 and I've been wrong.
So what now?
I said I'm trying to use 3 and then it didn't work, so.
You would know that one is a 5 because when you look at the formula, see this 5 that's right here?
Yeah.
That's how you knew I used a 5 in that equation. Okay?
Well,
What?
why don't we ever do those?
Because the Coots don't allow for so many characters.
What? So many characters.
You should do like double displacement.
Oh.
I gotta take
We should like have one that like. types.
I don't generally like them for this type of activity.
Are we ever gonna do it?
Yes, we will do Cahoots when we get out of the math.
When do we get? Oh, we're out of the math.
So what eventually you get out of the math?
We will be out of the math at the end of next week
All math?
for about 4 weeks.
Only this week.
I kind of like that.
And then it will hopscotch in and out the rest of the
I mean,
semester.
but it's like you can find it. I have a great day.
All right, does anybody have a question about anything in the homework? Fabulous. You need your orange reference tables for the remainder of class and an oxidation sheet.
Oh.
Like fun.
Oh, that's all.
Reference sheet.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be writing it down.
Mm-hmm. When I told you that the people who were taking the ACT would miss new stuff, I wasn't kidding.
A lot or a little?
A lot or a little? It's a normal class day.
Next one.
Yes.
Try about notes was.
No.
Full page, half page, partial page.
4 pages.
8
A while.
That's a lot.
A lot.
That's a lot.
I can't fix it for them.
1.5 pages.
All right.
Maybe 2 or 3. Give me a second, I gotta. I'm just gonna write this long.
You guys are turning to page number 6. Yep, 6.
Wow.
Now,
Oh my.
normally when I teach this topic, we haven't had 8 people out for the ACT. So let me preface this by saying, when the 8 people who are out for the ACT come to take up your quiz, you cannot use your orange reference tables when you make up your quiz, okay? Because the types of equations are on the reference tables, and you cannot use them on that quiz, okay? You will be able to use them on the test, even though I will ask you types, all right? So if you look at the bottom of page 6, we're going to use your reference tables to learn how to do synthesis and decomposition reactions, okay? Now, if you look at 3, 4, and 5, what do you notice is there?
Letters.
Correct.
You notice what types of reactions?
Basic.
At the bottom of the page. What does it say next to number 3? Single replacement, which we've already learned how to predict, correct? What does it say next to number 4? Double replacement.
Combustion.
And number 5 is combustion. What does it say next to combustion? Okay, go below that.
Hydrocarbon plus oxygen.
A hydrocarbon plus oxygen, and what are the two products?
Carbon dioxide.
So if you forget, you have a place you can look.
Well, we have
Okay.
this in our test.
You have it on everything except yesterday's quiz. I purposely did not tell you about it until today, which is why the 8 people who were sitting in here who missed yesterday's quiz cannot have the aid of this piece of paper because the people who took it yesterday did not.
So you lied.
Okay? I did not lie,
You said we should have it on every quiz.
except that one. So when you take the test, most likely on Monday, I don't think we'll make it by Friday because of the people who are out today. Most likely on Monday. We will not go later than Monday.
So the test is like all like straight up, no multiple choice, it's all written response?
Didn't I already say that?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking to make sure. Okay.
It's all straight up written out answers. There's no multiple choice. The next 2 are straight up written out answers.
Okay, we can give everything at once.
Okay?
24, 18.
Two.
You cannot guess B on E. I mean, you can write B, but they'll just be wrong. If you want to, it'll make it easy for me to grade. I'll just keep writing minus, 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 and keep rolling.
What if we put Jesus?
You can write Jesus, and I'll just mark it wrong and keep rolling down the page.
So.
Now, if you look at single displacement, they have multiple answers or examples up here. But you'll notice it says A plus BC yields AC plus B. All it did was take 2 letters and do what? Switch them, okay? These also took 2 and switched them. We will talk about this one because it's an exception. If you look at double displacement, all they did was switch 2 letters. Everything we've done, with the exception of B, is exactly what we've already talked about. So today our focus is on these 2, okay? Now, once upon a time, students of past, some of you who I've taught their parents, like Annabelle's, their parents had to memorize all this stuff, okay?
I doubt my dad did.
Well, there are lots of people I've taught who's flunked the class, all right? Or did poorly in the class. Now, there are still some teachers in the county who require their students to memorize this. There are many teachers in the county who don't even give their students these reference tables. They're giving them on the exam, and they don't even know what to do with the reference tables. Now, you're going to learn how to use these today. So we're going to start with decomposition. All right, so what is, you change colors.
What's the title?
Didn't I just say that?
We're gonna do synthesis too, don't we need like?
I just said we're going to start with decomposition.
So what's your title of the whole thing? Reactions?
5 factorial.
No, it's not 5 types, it's just 2.
The unit.
We are still predicting products. We've done single and double displacement. Yesterday we added in combustion. So what 2 types are we adding in today?
Decomposition.
So today we're going to start with decomposition. By the time you leave class today, all 5 types will be mixed up. Yes, like all 5 types will be all mixed up. All right, now, we're going to have 2 types. The kind that has 2 elements and the type that has 3 elements. Now, the type that has 2 elements are the types that I don't think you need the reference table for. You can look it up on the reference table all day long. I don't think you need it. If you have 2 elements, you just break it apart. Okay? So an example of that would be something like KCl.
Is the second one 3 elements?
Yep. So if you have something like KCl, what is the only thing you can do if you only have 2 elements? It's exactly right. K plus Cl. Now, if you wind up with just 2 elements, What do you ask yourself when you have elements? Are they one of the 7? Which one? Or both? Just CL. So, since CL is one of the 7, we put a 2 on it. And that is all we have to do for something as easy as having 2 elements. Okay? Now, things get more complex when it's 3 elements. All right? So if it's 3 elements, we have to read the reference table. Okay? Now, you can read the reference table for 2 elements also. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But it's going to tell you exactly what we just did. So, when you look at the reference table, for decomposition, this one was 2 elements, AB. What does it say to do if you have AB?
B.
It says A plus B. What does that mean? Break it apart. That's why I said you just break it apart. So B through F are what we do for number 2, if you have 3 elements. So, as an example for number 3, suppose that we have KOH. Okay? KOH. I'm going to do the work on the next page. Everybody got it? All right, so I'm going to write it over here. So it's on the same page as the reference table. Now, we have to find on our reference table the one between B through F that looks the most like KOH. Now, most people have no trouble finding that. But if you're sitting in your chair and you're like, I don't get it, Ms. Wall. I don't see how they got D. All right? The other way to get it is to find the name. Look up the name of OH. Now, on your oxidation sheet, what's the name of OH? Hydroxide. All right? So if you look up the name, and its name is hydroxide, okay, that will also tell you it's D. Okay? So if you can't look at KOH and figure out that this is the one that we should pick because it matches that form, then look up the name and it will help you narrow your choice. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So the M on the
The M stands for metal.
So it can be replaced by anything.
By any metal. If it says NM, that stands for non-metal. And that should be right at the top of that somewhere on that orange chart. Okay. So, I'm going to write this formula right below it. So, MOH becomes MO plus H2O. Now, all we have to do is make this formula fit that equation.
Okay.
Okay? Now, the same rules apply. If we write a compound, we have to crisscross. If we write an element, we check to make sure it's not diatomic. Okay?
All right.
Everybody with me?
No, hold on.
Compounds, we crisscross.
Okay. Yeah.
Elements, we check for diatomics.
Okay.
So, what goes in the place of M? Well, what's in the place of this M? I heard it.
Okay.
K. So we write K in the place of M. What goes where O is? O. And plus, what do we have right here? We just got to write water. Now, since this is a compound, we have to crisscross. Okay? Since MO is a compound, you have to crisscross. Now, I will tell you in these equations, half of the time, they cancel out, about 50-50. So if you forget, you got a 50-50 shot of getting it right. Okay? So when you look up K, what's its oxidation number?
1.
Plus 1. What's O? All right, this was not one of the ones that would have canceled out in. So bring your 2 down. All right, last step is to balance. How many K's? We need a 2 there. How many O's do we make? How many O's are here?
2.
How many H's?
2.
How many H's? 2. It's balanced. Questions?
Are we gonna go through all of those on the competition?
I wasn't planning to. I thought we'd do like 3 examples. Okay. They all work the same way.
This is so hard.
It's a wonder you get up out of bed in the morning.
Huh?
I said it's a wonder you get up out of bed in the morning.
It's so hard.
There's no way right now.
All right, and we have this one.
Oh my God.
All right, which one does it match?
Yeah.
Okay, so that, okay.
All right, I hear metallic chlorates. What do y'all think?
Yes.
What are y'all looking at?
Did you just say, where are we looking?
I was finishing writing something, and then y'all were talking about other elements, and then I didn't see it.
So I was wondering if it's just.
You're going to send me over the edge between now and June.
Well.
At least I'll be retired before the last calculus comes through.
You think I'm bad?
I know. Woo! I'm not sure I can handle the last one.
It goes Mary Lloyd, me, and there's Abby, and Abby's just.
Mary Lloyd was fabulous.
I know she is. Every teacher likes to remind me.
You're just a mess. You have a great personality. You're just a mess.
No, you're messing. Oh, he said I'm not.
All right. So you got everything written.
Yeah.
Do you know where they're looking since you're like, where they at? On the orange chart.
Yeah, but I don't see no MG.
Look at E.
There won't be an MG.
Oh.
Okay, you're looking for the polyatomic ion. Okay, so the polyatomic ion is this. Okay, that thing.
Yeah.
You're looking through here for the one that looks like that. If you can't find the thing that looks like it,
It's wrong.
you can look up its name. What is ClO3's name?
All right.
Look up its name on the oxidation
You
sheet.
don't like it.
Stop making it up and look it up. What is ClO3's name?
All right.
Good. Now look here and see if you can find its name.
Metallic chloride.
There you go. That's another way to do it. So you can find out that we're talking about this if you don't recognize the formula based on the way I wrote that. Okay? So you can look it up based on the name. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. That's all I wanted you to get. Are you with us on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So is every...
MG is just random.
Huh?
MG is just
Mg is just a metal I chose. The Mg can change with any equation. I can give you any metal. Okay? Is everybody with us now? Okay.
Can it ever be a non-metal?
Not for those. No. See how they all start with metallic? So it will not be a non-metal there. The only one that will be a non-metal will be this one. Okay? So MClO3 becomes MCl plus O2. So what goes in the M's place? Mg. And then Cl. And then plus O2. Okay? Is everybody okay with how I?
Wait a minute. Right. Give me a second.
yes, but you
Okay.
Okay, okay, I'm done.
All right.
I'm not.
I know you're still copying. Yes, Rocco.
So the subscript of 2 on the first equation is not valid.
No, it does not come across the arrow.
Okay. And the same thing with all of the decomposition.
Correct. All right, so
Why does it have to be Mary Lloyd's initials? That annoys me.
What are you talking about?
MCL, those are her initials.
For the love of God. All right, now, this is a what again? That's a compound, so we have to crisscross. So, did you check your oxidation numbers?
No, not yet.
Wait, another one?
It's the same question. You got to check your oxidation numbers. What's magnesium's oxidation number?
2.
The positive 2. What's chlorine?
1.
So we have to bring our 2 down.
Alright.
Is the equation balanced?
Probably not.
Hold on.
No.
And I will tell you.
Probably
You don't
not.
have the same amount of O's.
All right, so we've got 1 mg, 1 mg. How many CLs are here?
2.
2 distributes there, so we have 2. 2 CLs. How many O's?
6.
How many here?
2, 3.
So we need to put a what?
3.
Yes. Okay,
Is that it?
that's all there is to it.
It's so hard.
No, it's maybe.
All right, let's do one more for Mary Lloyd.
Wait a second.
Excuse me. Annabelle. See?
Oh my god.
That's what happens when you talk about Mary Lloyd. All right, let's do one that's a little different. Just for Annabelle. Just because I think she might have a hard time with this one. Because this one's a little different. And she'll yell at me on the test if I put this one on there.
Okay.
All right, this one's for Annabelle. Because she'll yell at me on the test.
And we'll
You
do
hit
it.
almost.
You know, no,
You can do it if you just give yourself a chance.
I don't even know where to start, dude.
I was just about
Write
to
it
ask you
down.
about this one too.
Is this the one that Brenda's like?
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
eight.
carbonate.
Yes.
So then what I did?
So what, all right, so she's got the right equation.
What are the S, the I, and the G stand for?
Those are the states.
A solid.
Oh.
Do we need to know the states?
No.
Wait a minute.
No.
Okay.
It's just extra.
So Annabelle's like, what do I do now? So what do you do now?
Find the oxidation number.
Let me.
I would write the what under it. I'd write the equation under it if I was Annabelle. All right.
HCO3.
Now, those of you who don't need it, don't write it. But if I was Annabelle and I was struggling, I'd write that because it's a great visual technique.
We're not writing.
And then I can write the equation.
you
Okay.
wrote the wrong thing.
You told me it was a metallic hydrogen carbonate.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote.
HCO3, not MO.
I wrote this because that's the reactant part. I wrote it under the reactant side. And this is the product part, so I wrote it under the product side.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Just looking at the NCO3. Looking at the wrong one and one down.
It's C.
That's what I wrote. I wrote C.
My C is different.
On the right side.
Wherever else that should be NCO3 instead of MO, right?
Yeah.
Does y'all look different than mine?
Yes, NCO3.
Why I am confused.
So who is right?
Me.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
And that's
I know it's an older sheet that I'm using to cut and paste that with, but I just I wrote it a different way.
I have puzzled thee as well.
But,
Bibbidi boppity boopity bop.
it should be MO, but we'll go with what they have on your sheet. Should be MO, but I'm not going to question it because I'm not going to confuse you for the state test. It should be MO. Okay, so we'll write it that way because that's what it shows on your sheet. All right,
Are you
so
puzzled right now?
I'm a little confused as to why they wrote it that way, but it's all good.
Are you gonna call the state?
Nope. All right, so
You should.
I'm not going to.
Say this guy.
So what do we write at the top?
And you break it down. Yeah, I don't know.
HCO3.
Na,
Right.
CO3,
And then just put
and then plus
plus water.
H2O, and then plus CO2.
So do we just take away an H from NaHCO3?
Uh-huh.
Why? That's an H2O.
Did I have the rest of it written the way I had it on the sheet?
Yeah, that H2O and CO2. Okay. So, check your oxidation numbers on which one? On the M, the CO3. This one right here is your compound, right? So you got to make sure you crisscross on this one. The one that has the M is the one you got to crisscross. So that's a +1 and that's a -2. Please tell me that was a metal something.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got a 2 right there. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. And then we need to balance. So we need a 2 here. It's going to give us 2 H's, 2 H's. That's going to give us 3, 4, 6, and then 6 O's. So we should be good. Do we feel okay with decomposition?
No.
Really? All right.
It's okay, I'll fine.
Let's try synthesis.
Alright.
All right. Synthesis works very much the same way. Okay? All right, so this time we're going to form one compound. And again, you're going to have 2 types. The state has really limited the 2 that you're going to see. You're either going to get 2 elements or you're going to get 2 compounds. Okay? If you get the kind that just has 2 elements, such as, let's say you have Ag plus O2. What are you going to do if you have?
You're just gonna shove them together.
That's exactly right. Okay?
You what?
If you have 2 elements, what are we going to do with it?
Shove them together.
Exactly. Anytime you have 2 elements, you're just going to put them together. And if you look at your reference table, I'm just going to turn the page for a second. If you look at your reference table, the very first one, if you look at it, shows that shoving them together that Madison showed. See how it says A plus B? What's it do? And puts them together as AB. That's that shoving them together that Madison so eloquently described. All right, so what would Ag plus O2 make? All right, what did Rosanna do wrong when she said AgO2? She can't bring that 2 across the arrow. Why can't she bring that 2 across the arrow? It's not a polyatomic ion, so that 2 can't come across. What is Rosanna supposed to do once she brings them across? There you go. So Ag would have a +1, O has a -2, and then bring your 2 down that way. Okay? You can't just drag the 2 across the arrow. Now, from there, all right, for 2 compounds, what are we going to do anytime we have 2 compounds? What do we do for decomposition?
Reference table.
There we go. We're going to use the reference table. Okay, now you're going to use the reference table. Now, the problem you're going to have is you're not going to recognize it. Okay? You're not going to recognize it, and I'm going to show you why. Okay? It's going to look like double displacement to you, and I'm going to show you how you're going to recognize it and know where to go. Okay?
Anybody want this coffee? I take it for that amount of coffee person now. I'll drink coffee.
So you wouldn't take it?
I know.
It tastes better watered down. Like
All right, so let's say,
this is an example.
yep.
Okay.
All right, let's say you have that. All right, this is synthesis. So it's okay to put it in your notes under synthesis. But most of you would look at this And what would you automatically think it is if it's all mixed up?
Double
Without fail, most people look at that and they think it's double displacement because it's what? It's two compounds, okay? So most people would start this and they would look at it and they would go +1, -2, +1, -2, and they would go ahead and switch and they would go, okay, we get Na with O and H with O, and they put in their oxidation numbers.
Oh,
And what do you notice? It's the same thing, okay?
hold
Why
up.
did it always have H2?
It always has.
Well, when you get the same thing as synthesis.
That's right. When you get the same thing, it's not double displacement. It is synthesis.
Okay, now step back and give me a second.
I will.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right, because it's going to look like double displacement to you. And you are most likely, unless you're just one of those students, and I have them all the time, they're rare, but I do get them every year who see it and they're like, oh yeah, that's synthesis, I got it. And you head to the reference table. But I'm going to show you an exception when it's in displacement too. I know that we're filled with exceptions. All right? But, all right, because most people don't recognize it immediately, they tend to double displace. They get the same products and they're like, dang, it was a synthesis question. So just erase your answer and go to the reference table to find synthesis. Okay, so if you this is one of the places I let you write on your reference table. So find your reference table. Okay? Oops, wrong way. This way I ought to have it. All right, you see where it says base right here? Yep. Huh?
You were the only one here.
What door?
That door.
Are
you creaking the door on this flowers
You can't
room and it's, am I what?
You can't think.
It's like, no, it's like
It's
nails on
it's
top, really annoying.
I'm glad that's parents schizophrenia.
It's cat. She gets stiff.
All right, so are we done now with the door creaking? All right, so if you look at your reference table, see where it says base right here?
Yes.
I want you to write M-O-H.
Right on the thing?
Yep, right on the reference table. By the end of the year, you will know what a base is, and you will not need that on the one the state will provide you. But right now, you do not know what a base is, so write that down. Okay? So, in the one that we're doing currently, we have two reactions to pick from. Okay? It's clearly not an A plus B. We have either MO plus water, or we have NMO plus water. Do we have a metal oxide plus water, or do we have a non-metal oxide plus water? What is Na? Is Na a metal oxide plus water or a non-metal oxide plus water? It's a metal oxide. All right, so since you have an MO plus water becomes a base, you're making it into MOH. Okay? So what is our metal? So we're putting sodium, and you're putting it with a polyatomic ion what? OH. That's it. Oxidation numbers because it's a compound. So Na has a +1, OH is a -1. What happens to them? Cancel out. Is it balanced? No. Na has a 2. So we need a 2. I mean, how many O's? 2. We have 2 O's, 2 H's, 2 H's. Questions?
That's the exception.
Okay?
That's it?
That's it.
There's an exception.
It's what?
Those are notes.
That's it. It's not hard.
Is that a really big bag of pretzels? Or
Didn't you say?
What, that?
Cheez-It.
Cheez-Its.
Didn't you say there was an
Yeah.
exception when it came to identifying exceptions?
No, that was single displacement.
You said
Yeah, John.
Yeah. I said, don't you know it's.
All right, we're doing the odd. And there's a backside. We're doing the odd number
On both sides?
on both sides.
Why?
Because we can.
I need some cheer wine. We're just so
Glad you eat your wine.
That.
I need a live.
That.
All right, we're doing the odd numbers. Allow me some answers.
Yeah. Oh, the first one is easy.
We didn't actually say it.
Well, I'm letting them know. Which one could I come in?
People were laughing at her all the time.
should we have to do the
Girl,
one?
but
Yes.
you staring at your.
I know. Like,
I mean, that's
I count 9, Caleb. Is that what you're at, or am I supposed to find 10? Okay. I will be up, moving around in just a second. I'll record this and get back to you. Uh-huh.
I'm confused.
no, you're on number 1.
Number 3.
Okay, this ain't that one name.
Whatever.
Why'd you bring that 2 across the arrow?
Bromine does. So just
Those are compounds you're making. You don't bring any arrows across the arrow, any subscripts, and you have to crisscross when you make compounds.
Why would we?
Is Sophie just asked?
Yeah?
It's, number 3, do we switch to K and VR? Oh. Because K doesn't have a negative.
Yeah, you have to put K first.
Okay. That's not. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you should do it.
That's
Little 6 or something.
Everyone's just depressed today, and that's not good.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Which one's are you?
For what? Is it first or last? It has to be a -1.
Okay, where are you?
There's nothing. Didn't see it.
Oh, y'all can leave. Now I'm about to put back down.
How was it? How was what? Whatever y'all were doing. What did y'all say?
Mrs. Holland sent you an email.
Yeah, no, y'all need to get the notes and get caught up. We're not just,
Oh,
have
it's
somebody who was here watch the video.
It's terrible.
terrible.
I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not, it's hard to learn, but we learn it's like.
Is that what we're doing here? Yeah.
Did you check homework?
Yeah.
Well, can I see the answers to the homework?
No, because I wrote them on the board and erased it.
And that's game.
Did you guys check it homework?
This is for all these.
It's H stuff.
If it's if there's two, if it's 2 elements you are combining,
Shoving them together.
are you listening to Madison?
Come on, Madison. Madison, I need you to catch up.
Synthesis is really just.
So.
Is that diatomic question?
Yes.
Really? No. No,
Then why did I think they were?
I have no idea. But it's not. So yeah, 2.
What, you think, oh, what'd you want? 5? I think I did this right. Never mind.
What are these things? Oh, okay.
It's small, though, touch her word.
Well, she has twos of them, but I didn't know what they were. That's why I was asking. They
Wow.
could have been coefficients for all I know.
No.
Okay. So, the oxidation numbers are not twos.
Then why is there twos?
Right, because they're diatomic, so I gave them subscripts of two.
Where do you think you want to do it?
Right? By themselves, for one of the second diatomic.
Yeah, that's
So,
I think number
Oh,
two is
five.
rowdy one. Yes, I know this.
okay, so
Okay.
they got the oxidation numbers. The oxidation numbers are here, so you can crisscross.
So I couldn't have the second one.
You don't, that's the one that's two.
Oh my gosh. Like, no.
They don't get one.
Well, it doesn't matter what order you put them in.
Yes, the positive one has to be first, the negative one has to be second.
Oh my god, it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't. Nothing matters anymore. Then what's the oxidation? Figure one. Yeah.
No. Because it's still A, it's still a single element.
All of the oxidation.
No, because the brownie
Yes.
ones, they're like special. I don't know.
Yes.
But only when everybody says.
Yes.
They are by themselves.
They're special whenever they're by themselves.
They're special because they're by themselves.
Yes, then
Wait,
wait, Mom.
compare them.
They don't need an oxidation number when they're by themselves. Because they're by themselves. You're not switching them with anybody. You only need another oxidation number if they're switching with somebody.
Madison, out of your probably like what 11 years of education, you never ask why, okay? Because nobody knows. It just happens.
Don't listen to her.
I don't just ask why. Like they're like, well, why do you get the graphic? Because they said to.
Well, that's a good
Thank
point.
you.
Exactly.
Just
Okay.
Okay.
How come yesterday I needed like an oxidation number of like negative one?
Because yesterday we were switching two elements, because single and double displacement requires you to figure out who is switching places with who else. In synthesis, we're not figuring out who is switching with who. You're putting them together.
So, okay.
Do you reduce it?
It doesn't matter with oxidation numbers.
If they're the same, yes. What
So
else?
in synthesis, the oxidation numbers don't matter on the.
Not on synthesis, because you're putting them together. You want their oxidation numbers as a product to switch
So
them.
before the arrow, we don't
Before
care.
the arrow, it doesn't matter because you're not exchanging them. It only matters on single and double because you're switching the two that are the same side. But you're not switching them. That's why it doesn't matter. That's the why piece you just asked.
Do you have the answer first?
Yes. This is positive and negative, right? So you have to write this as CA. Right. On that C2, CO4, did you reduce it to CO2?
So carbon oxygen C2 or C14.
C1O2, reduce.
Yeah.
Houston.
I was so lost.
lost.
She stood on my desk for like 10 minutes trying to figure out, telling me what the difference between an oxidation number was.
Gotta do the backside,
We're only doing odds.
Yeah.
and we're only doing them for synthesis, and then we're doing decomposition. I gave the instructions, it's not my fault you didn't listen to any of it.
Didn't let me do what?
She literally tried to stand.
Are we gonna have to know how to do F?
I like it. I don't know.
Are you gonna have to do what? Sometimes I will give those, and it's pretty rare. And most of the time, they're easy to figure out because they won't balance if you don't have them. If you're done, the answer will check.
Sulfur would be -2. Okay, now I'm gonna start with odds.
Okay, so sulfur's -2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, decomposition, right here first.
What is what?
Decomposition, just add to.
Say what?
Well, I sure didn't know. Whatchamacallit? Oh, shoot. Why did she put a 2? Because you have to balance it out.
Decomposition has three
Look at the can.
Girl, go find your bestie. No, that's yours. You be the one sitting over there laughing at her and everything. So don't even try to speak to me like that.
Is it Michelle?
Come move your big hand. Now look, you can't even see it. Where's 8 at?
Is it by itself?
Oh.
Is it on the step?
Say what now?
So I just have to go back and balance. You're done? I just need to make sure my bases are right. Bullshit.
I'm
crying. It's okay. It's okay. Why did I do 10? Oh my god. No, you have a heavy ass forehead. What the fuck? You can lay it there. You just like laid it dead on my shoulder. Oh my god. Are these the answers? And you have to balance too. So if you didn't balance, you can go back and do that. I don't even know how to fucking do that.
Yeah.
Fraud, encounter problems. I got all the fraud. Yeah.
How did I? Oh, I didn't reduce. That's why.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant to put.
Yeah, you have to balance.
I had everything right, except I put a 2 instead of a 4, so I was really confused.
Miss Wall, encounter problem.
Yes.
Thank
you.
I did all of them wrong.
That's a large problem.
You're gonna be the deputy.
Yes.
What did you do wrong? This one, you didn't do the left side. You only did the right side.
No.
Okay, I did number 3.
Yes, you can. Really? Wait, what are you talking about? Like copper plus carbon?
You got it
I
right.
don't think I've reduced numbers.
Plus at
Good job, Madison.
those two.
The legal.
Number one.
Then you're A
What?
double.
Oh my god.
I just wrong on number 3.
Stop speaking on this.
Don't reduce.
Then balance it.
When you reduce.
Balance all the equations. Yes, you do know how to do that.
Okay, we don't.
Use your reference page.
What's the oxidation of lithium?
Use your reference page.
What's the oxidation of sodium? It's not one, look it up. So if that's a 1 and that's a 2, what would we have? Now balance. What's that say?
No, it's just-
I can't even read that.
That's page 6 right there.
Balance your equation.
Okay, you see how there's M? Plug in.
Can I just put any number there?
Any number where?
No, you didn't.
You cannot just write in any number you want.
But I'm confused. Annabelle, you want me to help you? L.I.
Okay, I fixed
I know
that.
Annabelle. I need somebody with some patience. We'll just sit with Annabelle. I can't just sit with Annabelle and ignore the rest of the class. She needs one-on-one.
It's gonna be a long. What are you doing? Which one?
Mine, your question.
No, I didn't.
I meant this.
Right, you don't take stuff from the street, 'cause I like that. Yeah.
We're just going this pop.
You got right. It's literally just serious. It's just not real.
One minute, hurry up.
Okay, I can email you.
Yes, do that.
Yes.
I want how to share.
Learn. It's good for you. You're gonna what? What's that? I bet this 1,000.
I didn't make it wrong. Where did it go wrong?
That means this copper.
That's
what I'll
Oh, yeah.
Wait, I don't. No, give me.
I'm working on it.
Yes, it's CLO3. You want it that side.
I think 11 and 15.
Alright, who else has a question?
Teach more than she did.
Okay, I told you. She didn't know. Exactly.
Oh,
It's the odd numbers on both sides.
forgot to add those.
I told you 1, 2, 3, 2.
Is a woman in the 70s?
No.
Baffle.
I was thinking, dang, I'm not as smart as her. Don't come at me.
Chris says that.
You're now on 5 clear grassy blocks. 5 clear.
Don't argue. Is what?
It's supposed to be KBR.
It's K.
No.
Yeah.
Positive.
I hate to say Linda's correct if she was arguing with you and saying K at first,
No, I'm just.
but she would be correct.
She just gets cocky. She's just trying to say.
Try out the
I did not say you were
Okay.
wrong. I was simply saying that. All I'm saying is.
You guys, okay, just do your work.
Written first, so whoever said that would be correct, just do it in a more humble way.
Right.
Are you okay over here?
Don't lick 'em all.
Alright, this oxidation number right here is a -2.
Okay.
So that's a -2. It's not here. What happened to it? So what would you do?
What are you doing?
Here. Go away. So, those are both 2s.
Oh, I just have.
I feel like we're doing all this wrong. That's me. Because we didn't.
We know oxygen's a -2. What would copper have to be on this side? Positive 2. So what's gonna happen? All the 2s.
These are
Alright, who else has a question?
2.
Well, we have to, put this as 3 and then it's.
I'm so slow with
Correct. You just balance.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Yep. No, my. Mary, you and Alejandro, you don't ask much. You're good. You know what you're doing? Alright. You're done, go check. Yeah, you did. Very check. Alright.
Well, would you like this thing?
Who's your sister? Yeah. How'd you do when you checked? Good.
For number 19.
What was 19? What'd you do wrong?
I used the wrong.
What'd you use?
The one that had like the H2O.
Oh, okay. Dylan, how are you doing? Need help?
I'm gonna have to see what you're doing. Yeah.
What's over, AG?
Yeah.
I can find it on the computer.
Now.
Oh, 8.
Like her who is CO plus CO2. What you say?
Yeah, I got 2.
Hey, Beaner, not Beaner. You big. No, I'm just kidding. Whoa, I'm gonna need you to move your fingers in, lady. Or a, not a dog.
That's probably what I did. I did it. I really did it.
No, I was wrong. I did it. It was with
Yeah, there's a two in front of the.
CLS. I just did some sis. I had to verify. Isn't 17 already balanced? No, it's not. Because CL is lonely. This is and so you have to add a 2 in the first little bit. Yeah.
17 doesn't work.
I know, I realized that. Then you have 2. And then there are just 2, so it'll be 2. Good job, man. I'm learning the things.
Okay.
No, I want to teach something.
You're teaching me, so.
No. There's 3 of them. And there's about 1, 2,
Oh, yeah.
Where else?
What if you are?
NaO, no, NOFCL.
Wow.
It's like a shotgun.
NOFCL. Oh. Okay, so they're not. It's all done. Fabulous.
On 19, CA and O would cancel out with the both. Sorry. So there are 2. So it balances.
They don't balance it. Which one?
I have one more
11. See.
I get to know what I'm doing.
I don't think they balance it. 13. 2 KCO.
So this is what I got.
Oh, it's even already. Yeah, that one's even already. My fault.
I've bugged the crap out of both Karen and and then I got choice confused and then we were off.
Yeah. You just have to unbalance.
And they were like,
I just learned a thing.
my best was yesterday.
I know. They're real fun.
No, it's not.
You do know that.
Nope, I do next class. I know, right?
What? It looks like a.
Oh, is it?
A scale?
No, because they have a little.
Well, is this a balance thing?
It's an anti-analytical balance.
So like back in the olden days.
Yeah, back in the old days. Yes.
Hey, how did y'all do this with 15?
No.
Oh, so.
It's long. Can I put my picture up here when I graduate?
Hey,
Wait, what?
That's when you really canceled out.
Whoa.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, okay. She says no, but then me she. Sounds a joke.
Shut up.
That's your that's your new best.
Now. But you okay?
Wait, what? It's like this. Wait, like it's great. Like
Where you going?
Does this seat work? Like it's not broken, right?
or like.
Miss Wall.
Oh, she is.
What is that?
I'm gonna be on her next. Annabelle, we can be on her next video.
I'm sorry. I'm not.
Ooh. Where that? Oh.
Hey guys, today we're gonna fail. Already am. Congratulations. Just kidding. I have a 75 in here. Just kidding.
We love Miss Wall.
I give y'all the answers, but she might be watching. Be good at stupid doesn't count. Yeah, Annabelle.
Hey Joyce, because I know you're gonna watch this tonight.
Joyce, have fun. I know you missed me yesterday. Leave that pencil.
Girl, it's the smart pencil.
We're talking to your watchers.
Hey, friends.
I'm sure that the people who catch up tonight want to see YouTube on video.
They do.
It's okay. You got the idiot
Now,
and the idiot
not
helper.
checked?
Can I grab
Move.
Can we go all the problems that are on the bottom through the back that are, I'm confused. I can stop, but it's not fun.
She's gonna say
This is wall.
and we can look at the video.
I want the Z-scaler comes up. I'm not planning to work those all, no.
They're gonna love our video, Miss Wall.
I will do one or two.
I don't like sitting down.
I'm not planning on doing the whole sheet, no. Because you missed an hour of class. No, I'm not going back to do all that. Ask Mr. Tomlin to explain.
That's it.
What if it's not story? What?
All right, for those of you who didn't check,
I don't like flashbacks.
check real quick.
Miss Paul, you're so proud of me. I did then.
It's fabulous.
Oh, she did it. I did not do it. I wouldn't.
I believe that.
I would have been.
With what?
Sea minerals are supposed to be healthy, so.
No, I think that's just the scent.
That's just started.
Wait, tomorrow's the last day. This is plastic. You're killing me.
I don't care.
Tomorrow's the last day for what? Oh, February. And today's the last day you can buy Oklahoma tickets from me.
Oh my
For
God.
$10.
Wait, today's 27th?
That haven't sold it
What's
Way
that?
to go.
yet. Well, all the people I don't want to take their money because I wouldn't be able to get their ticket to them. So might as well just buy the ticket at the door. It's $2. I'm sorry.
$2 at the door?
No, it's
$12 at the door.
Just buy the CD. It's $5. That's what I'm doing. I'm buying the CD because I can't go. So.
I can just watch the actual thing.
Me and Sarah Lynn might go Saturday.
Yeah, I might go on Saturday. Yeah,
All right. Anybody else need to see this page? All right. I don't see anybody actually checking. So, which one do you need me to do over there?
I said do 19.
Oh, you need to see 15 to 19?
They said they need to bet.
Can you do 13?
What is 13?
KCL03.
What's bothering you about that one?
I don't get it right.
If
Right.
Micaiah and you did get it right, you're just stalling.
I don't know. I really don't think I got it right. Okay.
All right. Linda, which one is it you
Yeah,
want?
I didn't get it right.
Come here.
Wait. Yes, I did.
I couldn't read my handwriting.
In 11, you have CuCO3. You have to recognize that CO3 has what oxidation number? It has a -2. Is it in the formula?
No.
So what happened to it? It canceled out. It reduced. So if the 2 went away, that means copper has what oxidation number? +2. So when you match it up with the formula on the reference table, it matches MCO3, which becomes MO plus CO2. So you write it as CuO plus CO2. Now that makes copper +2 and -2. So what's going to happen to all the 2's? Cancel out. Now the nice thing about this equation when you're done is it is already balanced. Okay? One more. Choose wisely. Tell me what it says. CaCO3. It's the same equation, isn't it? Didn't we do CuCO3?
Oh, no.
Okay, well,
Second. I'll go behind the board that you just went through.
17.
And the big zipper?
What's 17 say?
In ACO.
Oh, my.
All right, how many elements do you have?
2.
So if you only have 2, all you need to do is what? Break it apart. I mean, you can look it up on the reference table, and it just says AB. AB says A plus B, so you're just breaking it apart. I mean, that's not even really worth looking up on the reference table, but you would just break it apart into Na plus Cl, and are either of those elements one of the 7 diatomics?
Yes. Yeah.
Cl, so you put a 2 on it,
Okay.
and then you balance.
Yes.
2 and 2. Okay? All right, for homework.
Oh, I missed my partner. Homework.
Okay. Now, your homework is all of the questions. All 5 types of equations are mixed up. So I want you to tell me the type of equation. I want you to predict the products, and I want you to balance the equation. Again, this is the biggest section on the test. We have 1 topic left to learn, and then we're ready to take the test. Well, that's up for debate, but
You can go ahead and say.
we have 4.
Like 10 minutes.
So this is our home.
Stop playing in the chair.